now proudly presented on SNME. That's Sunday night's main event, Patreon and free feed. Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy George Mackay back here in the Straight Talk Studios. Yeah, it's been a week. It has been a week. But hey, it's Thursday. It's Fusion Day, and Uncle Bobby B and I are here to talk all things tonight's episode. As always, Bobby B, ladies and gentlemen, Bobby B.
Oh, I feel for you, buddy. Ladies and gentlemen, and people of all genders, George Mackay is not feeling super well today, but he is a professional and he is soldiering through to bring you this episode of MLW Rewind with yours truly. And I'm gonna try and carry the load here for a change. So you just lead me into it, homie. I got you.
Here we go. Let's start off the bat with an SGC promo. Jimmy Lloyd is with them. He's revved up. It's been a long time since he's won gold, and he thinks MLW is the perfect place to turn the tide, a place to win some gold. And AKIRA, he's coming after that middleweight title. Mancer is excited. He says Lloyd is going to get gold. SGC is going to get gold. And now they're going to get some beers. That's exactly how the promo went. Almost word for word. Bobby, what do you got?
Hey, Jimmy Lloyd is a fan favorite. Everybody likes Jimmy Lloyd. You don't hear people being like, "Oh, Jimmy Lloyd sucks. I'm so sick of that guy." Like, great. And like I said, these guys have worked a lot in GCW and other places together. They're familiar with each other. It's a good pairing of the SGC and Jimmy Lloyd. And I like how we're getting just more and more people on the roster. And I was kind of thinking about it the other day. I go, I kind of like the way MLW does it. I mean, they still manage to do multi-month or week storylines with only a few kind of quote unquote signed wrestlers that are on contracts or whatever, and then people that they bring in here and there, which I think actually really works. And it's kind of a unique thing that they do because there's no other like bigger promotions that do it the same way MLW does. And whether it's out of necessity or intent, it works. And we get to see a lot of fresh talent come in, and maybe they're not there for long, but it goes to show that the eye that MLW has, that court and the back office has. I know Mr. Saint Laurent is part of that crew as well, but
Not anymore.
they
he
yeah, well,
removed himself from his position.
well, it's because he's doing great things now, but I digress. They've really got an eye for talent, and you see it from the people that have their time in MLW and go on to do great things, all kinds of great things. And we're going to see it with some of this current crop that's in MLW right now. The league is looking good. And I managed to spin all of that out of a SGC Jimmy Lloyd promo. So how you like that?
Pretty good. Tonight, we're going to get more SGC. As you noticed in this promo, there was one member of SGC not there. That's Matt Justice. He is going to be taking on AKIRA one-on-one tonight, non-title action. I do want to specify it's non-title action. We're also going to get sessions by St Laurent back with its second installment, and it's featuring none other than, in her own mind, international pop star Becca. And
sensation, George. International pop sensation.
Don't have
E3CCA.
Don't have the energy to get through. We're going to soldier this one. We're going to keep it moving. All right, we're going to keep it fucking moving. Microman is missing, and there's more on the story to follow later on tonight in the episode. And also, Matt Cardona is actually physically in the building. From the last time we saw him was at Fightland. Fury Road. My apologies, Fury Road. Thank you. So he's back physically in the building, and we're going to hear from him. So our first match on the card tonight is the returning Nolo Catano. Keep an eye on the Straight Talk socials because we will be dropping an episode with him in the weeks to come, which was a fantastic conversation. And he is versing the undefeated Ichiban. And in one word, this match was fantastic. That's right. These two guys, just great speed, great back and forth, especially that final sequence. The Inseguri into the roundhouse, just back and forth kicks. And then Katana was going for attempting a cutter, and Ichiban hit him with that finisher, that out of nowhere finisher. I'm not sure what he calls it. I think it's called the Ichiban 1 or something like that. But he hit him with it.
Can't even remember right now.
Joe Dabrowski spoke so fast, it was crazy, but he hit him with it. And it was a 1-2-3, but this match was phenomenal. The middleweight division is just looking solid, and they're building Ichiban to be the guy to be the next person to helm this division. But adding additions like Katano and then adding additions like now Jimmy Lloyd, I would love to see Ichiban work a promo with Lloyd. I'd love to see Ichiban work a promo with AKIRA. They're just building this guy right now to be the guy in that middleweight division. Rob, your thoughts?
Couldn't agree with you more on that. We're clearly seeing it. Ichiban is quickly becoming a fan favorite. Not that Nolo Kitano isn't. I mean, we saw him about a month ago at Demand Lucha, and he was just great. I got the chance to chat with him for a little bit. I'm excited to hear your conversation with him on Straight Talk. But he's a tremendous performer. The athleticism from these two guys, and even Striker, put them over. Just it was a tremendous match. A lot of great sequences, super exciting. It wasn't just a quote unquote spot fest. It was a wrestling match. It was a great one. Just a more of a high flying athletic style, and I loved it. This was somebody was like, "Oh, what kind of stuff is MLW doing right now?" And like, here's something you could take a look at. Like, and these are two guys who are not super well known because they're still young and they're still coming up, but they will be super well known within the span of a few years. So keep your eye on both of these guys. Ichiban is clearly number one.
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah, he is the guy that he's the one to watch for sure in this current season of MLW and probably beyond. They locked him in pretty early, and I'm pretty sure the contract is their standard contract. I think for entry level is 3 years. Alex Kane's in the same level, 3 year with a 4th year option for the talent. I believe that Alex Kane did exercise that 4th year, so we are currently seeing him in that final year. And yeah, Ichiban probably got the same terms and deal. So again, they're building phenomenally. Sam Laterna, she's in the back with Matt Cardona, who, like I said, is physically in the building. This is no via satellite or via him cutting a promo on his cell phone in his pool. No, he's there. He's physically there. And she introduces him as a fighter. And he says he is not a fighter. He goes through all his nicknames, too many to list. And he's just simply here for all the gold, from action figures to money to gold. He's here for it all. And that's what he wants his experience in MLW to be: action figures, gold, and money. So the first round featured some action figures of wrestlers that have long gone from MLW: Karrion Kross, Mats Kruger, Jacob Fatu, and Alex Hammerstone being the 2 that are still within MLW. And I'm sure the second round will feature Matt Cardona for sure. Whether he's still within the company or not, it'll feature him for sure, because he does love his figures, and he loves having figures of himself. So there's nothing wrong with that. But what did you think of the back and forth between Sam Laterna and Matt Cardona?
It was great. I mean, I say it all the time. It's a word I use a lot when it comes to talking about people's promos: conviction, right? Matt Cardona is not just saying those words. He believes every word that he says, and he makes you believe it as a consequence. So it was tremendous. I feel for Sam. She is just like, I don't even think Alicia got it this bad back in the day. Like, Sam just gets the talent are constantly, not all of them, but she gets a lot of flack from these guys. But Sam is also a professional, so she knows how to handle it. But yeah, I'm excited to see what's going to come out of this Matt Cardona thing, besides injured feet for Mr. Saint Laurent.
For sure. For sure. Absolutely. Sam Adonis, how about this? Another Sam. He's running through the building. He's got his suitcase in hand. All he's saying as he's running by the camera is, "I know where CD is. I know where he is. I know where Cesar is." And just as he's turning the corner off the stairs, boom, he's attacked by those Lucha henchmen, and he is tagged and bagged, literally tagged and bagged, carried out of the building. So this is the way they've been doing things lately. Sam Adonis is written off TV. He made an announcement weeks ago in an Instagram post saying his contractual obligations with MLW were done, and they are finished. And this was him getting now written off TV, much like John Morrison, much like Taya Valkyrie, much like anybody from that Lucha Underground staple. They are long gone, and this is all the work, as we know, of Salina de la Renta. So that's it. That's it.
I will say that is just brilliant, because whenever they need to write somebody off for whatever reason, they have all these outs of just like, you're getting kidnapped by a Lucha henchman or something like that. It's brilliant that they were able to work it that way, because you always have this out to get rid of somebody. And clearly it's the work of Salina de la Renta. But Sam Adonis, when he came in, I wasn't overly familiar with him. I was really interested to see what he can do. He really impressed me over the past several months. I think he's an absolutely tremendous performer. Money on the microphone, great heel. People hate it. You look at him and you're just like, F this guy. But he's great. So shout out to Sam Adonis. Appreciate the work you did here in MLW, and it was a joy to watch, and hope we'll see you again sometime, because he's definitely a guy I would say if you can bring him back, bring him back.
100% agree with you on that. He is one hell of a performer. And for anybody who's still maybe unfamiliar with him, if you're tuning into Rewind for the first time, check out Straight Talk Wrestling. That's a side podcast that's also available on SNME, like MLW Rewind. And we do have a short but sweet 15-minute conversation with Sam Adonis, where you get a little bit more in depth on who he is and what he represents here and in Mexico. So definitely check that out for sure. All right, we got a calling promo, and this one had a couple Easter eggs if you kept your eyes on the camera and the camera work per se. Ricochet Page and AKIRA. And he is the God King, apparently. Not AKIRA, but Ricochet Page. He's the Gold King. And this is his calling. And he was baptized in fire by Raven. And the funny thing about this promo is that AKIRA, when he said that, they clearly showed AKIRA just the eye go to the side with kind of a look of disdain. So this may be the beginning of the end, the first nail in the coffin of the calling and the crumbling that will ensue. Because AKIRA is a born and bred star. Ricochet Page is a born and bred star. These two stars coming together, united, was perfect. But now somebody's ego getting a little bit heavy, and AKIRA not happy about that at all. So keep your eyes on that in the weeks to come, because they're definitely planting seeds that the calling may not make it to 2024.
Yeah, and we know Ricky was brought on not just to be a wrestler, but also to be an agent in the back. So is this him kind of the seeds planted of his eventual transition to just a backstage role? I don't think so, because Ricky's he's not old. He's been doing this a long time, but he's certainly not past the point of being able to wrestle, despite, I mean, that guy's put himself through some shit. Like, his body has taken some punishment, or he's a tank. But yeah, the cracks are forming in the foundation of the calling. And I'm curious. I'm very inquisitive where we're going with this. Would it be Ricky being ostracized from the calling? Would it be AKIRA removing himself? What's going to happen? We don't know. That's why we tune in each week.
Absolutely. All right. Before I make this next segment, I want to make the rules of this next segment clear. The next segment will last a total of 4 minutes, and I'm going to time it because I don't want to go into the back and forth with you on it. So I'm going to time it.
Oh no, you will not.
The timer is going to be set.
Buddy, I'm not accepting an award here. You're not.
I'm just making sure
limiting me.
I'm just saying I don't want to go in the back and forth about Becca. We're going to get through the segment and we're going to carry on. So 4-minute timer starts now.
I will be held subject to no time limits or regulations.
There absolutely will be, and I will just talk over you. Then there'll be a whole bunch of jargon back and forth as I move forward with the episode. All right, so Sessions by St Laurent. He introduced Becca as a Latin
Grammy Award nominee. Yeah, that's right, bud.
What the fuck? It's retarded. Becca on Delmi. She won't be performing, but she'll be holding a vigil. And that Delmi is not on a world tour, as she let people know. No, she's been taken out. St. Laurent also getting in the gossip dish, if you will, saying Delmi got some botched plastic surgery and she is afraid to show her face. Becca simply saying, well, I did her a big favor. This was funny. St. Laurent has no rhythm. Because Becca's
the dancing. Oh, that was great.
Becca's song is pretty easy to bob ahead to, for sure. It's not very, very instrumental. And he was just gyrating in all the wrong directions.
She should take him on tour. Like, he'd be a great backup dancer.
Of course he would. Of course he would say that. All right, so you have 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Go.
I have as long as I want. Well, first of all, just
seconds.
Brilliant of Mr. Saint Laurent for his next sessions with Saint Laurent to choose a Latin Grammy Award nominee, internationally charting superstar.
How is she a Latin Grammy?
B3CCA. Because she puts out hits. She makes bangers. And then she gets in the ring and beats the hell out of people.
Recognized in the real Grammys, but only in the Latin Grammys?
She was great when she also went on commentary eventually. But yeah, no, you keep denying the talent, but it's clearly there. So I
Not
don't
denying,
understand.
not denying the talent at all. Denying the singing talent. Yes. Everything else, girls on fire. Mic skills, fantastic. Wrestling skills, amazing. The only drawback to her being on commentary a little bit later is that we couldn't hear her.
That was just at first, and they
Yeah,
fixed it
no,
after. Yeah,
actually,
I noticed that too.
that was quite throughout the entire segment. But anyways, I digress to that. That's a backstage issue that Court Bauer will have to figure.
Well, it's more what it is a conspiracy to try and silence Becca.
I don't believe
Because
that at all. They just think
they know she's the true champion. She should be like Delmi's not even here. Where is she? Dealing with her botched plastic surgery while Becca's out here putting out bangers.
Yeah, if she did get plastic surgery, it's because she had to deal with the gash at the back of her head by being assaulted.
Wow.
All right.
I mean, Becca's a professional. She would just work through that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
If that was her.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I don't understand your animosity here. I mean, she's a great.
I'm not 100%. I'm not a
great singer. She's a superstar.
Yeah. Ted Bundy was a great singer.
Jesus, where are you going? What?
I'm just saying.
Really? I never heard Ted Bundy sing. Can't say it was on my Spotify playlist.
No, he didn't release any songs. But that's what I'm saying, right? Anybody could say they're a great singer, but you have to have talent to back it up. She has none.
Yeah, she does.
No.
Bags of it.
All right, 30 seconds.
Okay, stop. I'm not accepting a Grammy over here, or a Latin Grammy, if it's Becca's case.
Okay. All right. Even the Latin Grammys wouldn't take her because they have so much more talent than she could ever represent.
Wow, you are salty.
I'm not salty. I'm just I went on the nominees list and Becca was not there. So Saint Laurent talked a lot of shit.
Oh man, you really gotta get
gotta
get this hate out of your system.
1 and segment is done. All right, guys, we're gonna keep it rolling. Don King, he's there via satellite. Not a surprise, but via satellite, saying that the title fight between there we go. I was a few seconds early. My apologies.
Okay, right. I'm gonna be talking about her after.
Yeah, I know you will. Saying that the fight between Kane and Davey Boy Smith Jr. is signed, and he can't wait to watch Kane suplex DBS to Suplex Island. What do you
got? Yeah, this was actually better than the original appearance from Don King. I felt like he had a little more idea kind of what was going on, and it wasn't just like reading it off card. He kind of was, but you know what? It sounded a lot better than his last one. And at the end of the day, it's Don King. Okay, the man is old. Like I hope I get to be that age. Maybe not, but like I can't fault him for maybe not being super smooth with his delivery. It's Don King. It's more about who the man is than and what he's saying than how he's saying it. And it's at the end of the day, it's pretty. If I'm Alex Kane, it is pretty fucking cool to hear Don King saying "Bomaye, Bomaye, Bomaye." So, no issues with that.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Court Bauer entering the building.
Played him a Becca song, he would have been all over it.
Court Bauer entering the building, and Rodriguez, I guess he's now working for Salina in some form or fashion, says Salina has stuff to talk to Court about and don't dodge her calls. Court Bauer says, I'll take that on advisement. How about this? Mance Warner showing up with a bucket full of energy and a poster tube and drawings of this just amazing idea that he's got for Slaughterhouse. How about this? Just blood, chainsaws, him drinking beers, a coffin. Court Bauer looks very confused. Mance actually says to Court at the beginning of all this to hold his beer, which is very surprising that Mance would even let the beer out of his hand. And he comes up with the Chamber of Horrors match. Court Bauer seems interested. Mance says, you sleep on that. And he just leaves Court with a nice Coors Light, to which Court begins to drink.
Yeah, the architect, the barchitect, Mance Warner, apparently probably did that at the bar. That was hilarious. And Court actually could. I think I've chirped Court before for being and said, like, I understand why he doesn't go on camera a lot, but you know what? He actually killed it in this segment. He was great. His reactions and stuff were very convincing. I enjoyed it. Now I'm looking forward to this Chamber of Horrors match. And Mance is great, dude. He's so hyped up all the time. Like, I was half asleep last night, and watching this, and I still like popped and woke up when Mance just came out with a flurry of blueprints. It was great.
It absolutely was. It was so much fun. Always Mance is the shining star of MLW right now in terms of the energy that he brings. He is all over the place and not afraid to really get involved wherever they need him. And that's what I appreciate about Mance Warner the most. All right, Becca joins the boys on commentary during the next match, and the next match features Little Guido versus Love Doug. And Love Doug comes out with a cake and a guitar. He's got both of them for Becca. He puts the cake in front of her. She doesn't want it. She's only out there to talk about beating Delmi at Slaughterhouse. So they haven't really announced that match yet, but that would be the third match on the card. So 3 matches for Slaughterhouse announced so far. Well, 1 unofficially, but it will be announced in the coming weeks for sure. Becca versus Delmi for the featherweight strap. Alex Kane versus Davey Boy Smith, and of course the big double main event. That's one of the main events. The second one is Suzuki versus Fatu, which is going to be absolutely killer. Davey Boy Smith versus Alex Kane is going to be good as well. But, excuse me, but we've seen it. We've seen it. So they really have to go above and beyond in this next one. And the problem is with Davey Boy Smith is that Alex Kane does bring that energy. He does bring that storytelling ability. Davey Boy Smith, to me, honestly and truly, is a one-trick pony. But I feel like with his turn of a heel now with St Laurent, maybe we can get something different out of him. It's weird to have heel versus heel, but we'll see where it goes. Because I mean, Kane isn't so much a full-blown heel as because he's so over right now. So he's kind of like the anti-hero, if you will. But they just got to show me something different. But regardless, yeah. So Doug, he gets the win. And after it was a funny ass sequence, but it was perfect. Guido brought the guitar in. He tried to hit Doug with the guitar. Doug ducked it, gave him a lariat from the guitar into little Guido's head for the 1, 2, 3. And at the end of that, tries to give Becca that cake again, which absolutely looked dynamite. It was like cherry sauced heart and vanilla frosting. It looked good, actually. It looked really good. And Becca looks at the cake for a second. She smiles, does the little flirtatious smile that she does, and cake right in Doug's face. And she walks off. And but regardless, love Doug now, though. You know what? He's got 2 wins under his belt. So got to give the man credit right now in MLW. He's doing big things. Let's make this one quick because then we're gonna wrap up the rest of the episode because like I said, I'm just soldiering through on this one today. But what do you got on this?
Love Doug's great. One of the catchiest songs I've heard in ages. I know it's a Kiss song, but like I got it in my head for hours afterwards. Solid match. Great building this Becca Love Doug situation. And shout out to little Guido. That dude can still go. It's great. Enjoyed it. Excited. Give us more Love Doug. Give us tons more Becca. Let's go. And Striker was we keep saying it every week, but they're in top form as of the last few weeks. Striker and Dombrowski, they're just killing it on commentary. Find me a better tandem right now. I dare you.
I can't find you a better tandem.
Right? Okay. Next, there you go. That's all I have to say about that.
All right. Jesus fucking Christ. Relax yourself.
I'm going Forrest Gump here. You wanted to move along.
SGC, just shut up. SGC getting Matt Justice ready for his non-title fight. Again, I have to stress non-title fight, okay? Because they stress that a lot. So we have to make it clear this is not for the middleweight championship. They're going to accompany him out to the ring, not physically, but they're going to take him up to the ramp and get him everything. And how about this? Salina in her office, which was mysteriously looks like Cesar Durant's office just with a paint job, but I digress. With Microman trapped in a Louis Vuitton duffel bag. And she's got
a bowling bag or something.
A carry-on bag, if you will.
Yeah.
She's got a key in her hands, and she says she is going to be sending, in her words, this sack of shit back to Mexico. So Microman missing has been solved. He's been kidnapped and shoved in a duffel bag, the poor guy, by Salina de la Renta. And I guess that's a way of right now currently writing Microman off TV. So I guess that everyone is, I know AAA is ramping up. They usually do ramp up in the fall for their big events. So probably needing all hands on deck back in Mexico for sure. So that's the easiest way. So Salina is literally godfathering the last couple of weeks, just handling all family business.
She's putting people to sleep. Like
she is. And yet she still finds time to have her hair, nails, and makeup did and on point as always. Not a hair out of place.
Same hair color right now.
And here we go, main event time. It's AKIRA versus Matt Justice again in a non-title fight. This match was entertaining at first. AKIRA taking some bumps, Matt Justice taking some bumps like these guys are used to taking. But then the numbers game came into play as the Gas Mask Goons got involved. Right away, Jimmy Lloyd coming out, not wasting any time. And then Cannonball and Ricky Shane Page come out. And then the rest of FCG jump out, and it's just a fight. And the brawl continues all the way to the back. And Ricky, it's interesting that Ricky would pick Manders, but Ricky picking Manders, they fight to the back. He lines him up on a table and he puts him through the table off a ladder as the show kind of goes off the air. And Ricky is making his way back to the stage. So not sure how the rest of this brawl played out. I guess we'll find out next week, but that's it. That's it, man. It's all good. That's a wrap on this one. Give me your final thoughts on this before we say our goodbyes there, Robbie.
It was building that SGC calling rivalry. We're gonna have more brawls from them, more chaos. Jimmy Lloyd's now in the mix. It's gonna be good for the fans. And the match was, hey, like you pretty much summed it up. It was two guys who like pain and will go the extra mile to hurt the opponent regardless. No fear, as Stryker put it. They have a no fear mentality with everything they do, and it comes out in their wrestling. It's great for the fans. I loved it. Good, solid episode. Take some Sudafed, buddy. Get to bed.
That's the plan. That is the absolute plan. All right, guys, that's it from this one. Your host, your boy, George McKay. I'm sorry it wasn't the energy level that you're used to, but hey, sometimes you got to soldier through for the good of the product. But next week, I should be back in tip-top shape. As always, he is the rather unhinged, unorthodox, out to lunch when it comes to Becca, Uncle Bobby B. Peace, love, and wrestling. We'll see you guys next week.
Hot summer fun.